Welcome back, guys. Fire here, and in this one, we're gonna be reacting again. But this time, what the actual fuck?
What?
So it's called Super Horror Bro Shipwrecked 64.
Is this a game?
Now then, the secret story and endings explained.
Oh, it's a game. Why are we reacting to a game?
Because it costs money. Click on it. Full screen it.
Oh, the channel's called Super Horror Bro.
Exactly.
Is that the back rooms?
Just watch and you'll understand everything.
And so with that in mind...
In fact, no, Nathan, I'll have to do it. I'll have to do it, otherwise they won't be able to hear any volume.
This is the story of Shipwrecked 64.
How did we do it last time?
I'm not sure. I think
when I did it.
I'm certain you unmuted your mic.
Oh. I don't need to present my entire screen. I need to do an opera tab. Now we can... Oh, crap. Now I need to reopen YouTube, then. Now if I go to change... This is better. What about now?
Yeah, that's better.
After this, do you want to react to some cringy Slenderman videos?
Yep.
The developers of the version of Shipwrecked 64 now available to download online claim they purchased the original copy from an eBay seller named Daniel.
Okay, pause it a second. I just want to make a quick disclaimer. This is not sponsored, as this game is not real. He mentions in the start if you want to go and watch his video.
Oh, does he just like make up a game?
Basically, this guy plays this game fully, and then he basically finds out, as it says, the secret story and the endings. This game is
so it's a normal game. It's a normal game. They just added extra secret stuff.
This is not a real game in the real world, because if it was, I think the person who made it would have to answer to the local court.
Can I play?
Yep.
It could be replayed on computers around the world, faithfully recreating the game, glitches and all, but also warned that it's not for the faint of heart, as they uncovered some
looks normal.
Along the way. This brings us to
I'm gonna go onto Google Meet and watch it on Google Meet. Now, why the hell would I do that? Surface level. So this is the normal stuff. Nope.
The game's introduction shows realistic looking. Their appearance is unnerving and a far cry the cutesy cartoon counterparts seen during gameplay. These mascot characters are Bucky the Beaver, Olive Otter, Giovanni Goose, and Walter Walrus. An ocean storm forces the friends to head to a nearby island, where they end up shipwrecked, hence the title of the game. From here, the player assumes the role of Bucky, as he searches the island for his friends. Bucky soon discovers a gang of wolves has taken his friends captive as penance for ruining the peace of the island. Bucky must now complete a series of mini-games in order to save his captive.
His game don't seem too weird, yeah.
Mini-game, we are tasked with collecting up to 20
Pause it a second then. If you want to see the actual scary part, then
Yeah.
you skip to like halfway in.
Yeah. Oh look, there's a most replayed bit here. Let's go here first.
In fact, no, go back to
Here?
back a little bit more.
Here?
There.
5 minutes, okay.
Time of it leads to a very peculiar audio recording where we a woman named Lydia.
Hello, this is Olivia Finch. I actively submitted complaint. I don't know if you.
Bruh. I'd like to. My name is Olivia. Can you make it anonymous? Bruh.
Sometimes just places you go. After times, we'd grab the sliding glass door, jiggle it half around.
Oh, jiggle it.
Look like he wanted his. Act like his dad eyed that stupid costume stare back at me. Last night, though, just the reason I'm doing this. I'm afraid and walked over.
Is this real, this bit?
I got a slim head against the door. I don't know why.
All the audio is real. All of the tapes and stuff have been made electronically. So like this tape right here, it's a code, not real.
After each of these creepy cutscenes, we have quickly shown a medical sheet relating to the mascot in question. More on this in the final section of this video, where we take a look at the secret story behind the game. Finally, we have Bucky's minigame. The objective here is to allow the mascot to be consumed by the demon prowling the maze. After being caught several times, the following message plays out. There is nothing for you here. If we choose to leave the island at this point, then one of two endings play out. The first occurs if we fail to uncover all secrets hidden within the stage. Secrets leading to the exposure of the medical documents, for which there should be a total of 4. This ending shows highly distorted and scary-looking versions of the main cast, sailing away on their boats after escaping the island. However, this is not a true ending, but rather a creepy extra. To unlock the real ending, we must locate each of Shipwrecked 64's secret rooms. These are not terribly hard to find, but can only be accessed after failing each character's minigame. If we enter these previously unlocked doors and retrieve documents within, then after boarding the boat, a new sequence plays out. It features a freaky wooden doll and messages instruct us to seek out these relics.
Why is this game so weird?
Pick them up and then bring them and wait. With each doll we collect, new backstory is revealed. This backstory tells us of Shipwreck 64's origins. A game developer named Connor was hired to create a game for the Bucky Beaver franchise, but after Connor failed to faithfully bring the creation to life, he was fired by Bucky's creator, Mark Mullins.
Look, I didn't even look like Bucky. But you know what I mean. Look, this is Bucky. This is the face millions around the world recognize as a pop culture icon. That is a beaver with a listener. Connor, you're telling me with a vast amount of characters that we own, you picked up some random wolf and brought them into the game. We're not making this game for your son, Connor. We're making this game for the millions of people who look up to our brand. Look, I'm giving it to you straight. Do you have any idea how much money will companies suck in the studio belch? Do you really think we can extend our generosity to you for that much longer to create this, I don't know what do you call it, a game? I can't even tell. I'm saying we're done. We're not putting up for this project anymore. Unless you can pitch something to us that is the technical marvels you describe, I don't want to see it. We cannot keep sticking money into it.
Connor seemed intent on making the video game to please his son, Pat, but didn't provide the product Mark and the company behind the Bucky IP had hired him to create. The final recording ends with the following message. Check the front yard, Pat. Grab the camcorder. I left instructions on how to add videos to my files. I know you don't use the computer much, but I truly need you to do this.
Are you still there?
Son,
Yeah, I'm
you
still
just
here.
introduced me.
You gotta say stuff, it's a reacts video.
Then plays out, looking very much like a found footage video. It appears to be someone filming a house with a camcorder before falling or jumping from the roof. After this, we return to the game as Bucky, finding ourselves in a vast open field. We head through the exits and the credits roll. Upon returning to the title screen, only Bucky remains, his eyes now missing. You may be a little confused as to what all of this means, and I don't blame you. You see, up to this point I've left out key information that helps explain the true story behind this cursed game.
So then pause it.
Bear in mind,
Tell the viewers what's going on.
Basically, these two people, Mark and Connor, have teamed up together to make Shipwrecked 64.
Well, now Connor slotted though, isn't he?
However, Connor was trying to make the game for his kid, and the person who's filmed the video is his kid.
Person who filmed what video? The jumping?
Yeah, the jumping. So the
Why would he
person
jump?
Huh?
Why would he jump?
Because he's not. Because basically what happened was he then finished off the game and then died a short while later.
What, his son or him?
He died, Connor, he died a short while after finishing off the game. So, what he did was he ended up grabbing, and he
So he killed his son, killed himself, and then created a horror game for everybody.
and made a horror game. With it basically being how this was, only so many versions of that game were produced, so it became very rare to own one.
You ready?
oh.
But then he died, and then his kid played the game, and because his kid,
and then killed himself.
yeah, because the kid found out that it wasn't this nice, enjoyable game.
How old was the kid?
The kid wasn't that old. The kid was like, what, 9 at most? And basically, if you carry on watching, you'll find out why it was actually discontinued. So carry on.
With that said, here is my take on the secret story behind Shipwrecked 64.
What?
To wrap up this video, we will break down the story of Shipwrecked 64, or rather the story that occurred outside of the video game in the real world. To keep things as clear as possible, I will take a look at events in chronological order, balancing evidence where possible and making educated guesses where evidence is lacking.
Here you go.
This all began with a company called Broadside, and more specifically, their animation department. Here, a worker named Mark Mullins first created the character of Bucky the Beaver and other popular animal mascots, building Bucky into a worldwide brand loved by millions. Okay, so a quick side note from the edit room, guys. When I first wrote, recorded, and edited this video, I believed Mark Lester to be the creator of Bucky, but Mark seems to be the current CEO of Broadside Animation. The actual creator of Bucky and Broadside Company was a man named Rex, who died in 1972. We briefly see a video of Rex in the game, but he's never directly referenced. In fact, I only came across this information when browsing the developer's YouTube channel, where it was tucked away in a teaser trailer from 9 months ago. Thankfully, it doesn't alter the rest of the story theory I had planned, but I just want to clarify things before we proceed. We learn of both this company and Mark's full name when exploring a folder hidden away in the game files titled Resources Ignore. In this folder, there are many cryptic teasers, found in both Notepad documents and ARG-based links to YouTube videos. We will use this folder to piece together the missing pieces of the puzzle that is this game's story. At some point, Mark hired a game developer called Connor Thomas, who was the head of his own development studio, Cogware.
Pause.
Together, the two companies, Broadside and Cogware,
So they teamed together and made Shipwrecked 64, which then leads on to the death of him, his son, and Connor or Mark
And Rex. And Rex.
No, not Rex. Mark, yeah. All of their demises.
Whose fault was it that the game was a horror game?
It was nobody's. However, it wasn't a horror game until the kid's father passed away. Basically, what happened was his father's soul and sort of mind went into the game, and then that's what's made all of this stuff. So beforehand, it was literally just all this nice little game. Like, it was just like cooking, and you would get like, it was like a really...
Oh yeah, the bit of a start, that actually looked decent. That looked like a normal, like, Nintendo game.
Yeah, because they've literally, all they've done is put her...
It reminded me of Animal Crossing.
And then what they did was they did that, and the kid played the game, and he killed himself because...
What? Did he die after his dad or before?
He died after his dad because his dad's soul made all these videos. So
Who came up with this?
Go forward.
Who came up with
Go
this?
forward until I say stop. So like, put your mouse over it and keep going forward. Stop. In fact, you need to go back a lot more.
I'll go to 15.
No, go back.
12?
Forward a little bit. Back a little bit. Forward a little bit. Forward. Stop.
various people. It seems logical to conclude that as the camcorder belonged to Connor, he was then the cameraman
pause
who
it.
candidly shot his horrific.
Basically, Bucky, who is meant to be this really nice mascot, because Connor's soul is in the game, he basically ends up turning into this killer mascot, and his son,
Yeah.
is the person recording because his dad,
Because he's afraid.
because he's terrified, but his dad's not going to hurt him because he's his dad, and he made this game for him. So he's basically...
Who came up with this?
Who came up with this? I don't know. You've got to find the maker of Shipwrecked 64. But yeah, basically...
No, he came up with like all the secret stuff.
Oh.
Like all the secret stuff and the fact that there's a soul in the game and all that nonsense.
Me. I literally played this game, and I was like, wow, this is like all this lore, oh my god. So, basically, his soul's in the game.
No, who came up with the fact that Who came up with the fact that there's a soul in the game and it's now a horror game?
What the hell do you mean?
Like, someone must have gone, let's make up a story where someone's soul's in that game.
Oh, I don't know who came up with the idea of the game. But like, it's definitely one of those games that I would want to play again and see if there's still more stuff.
Well, yeah, imagine you played it and all this stuff happened.
Nathan, that stuff is in the game.
You said it was made up.
Yeah, that stuff is actually in that game. Yeah. But all of it is like made up of like so it's all made with CGI and stuff. The game, all of it's fake. except for the talking. So all the talking's real, but then everything else is fake.
Events. But who were the victims and who was in the mascot suit?
An award-winning 4K TV.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Still not sponsored.
These questions are also both answered in the game and those hidden files. The man in the suit is named Brandon Lester. We hear Olivia, an employee of Broadside, mention Brandon creepily standing outside her door as heard on the recording earlier. She also appears on this YouTube video.
Something about that just felt wrong. Horrible. Sometimes I swear he's not a person.
It seems Brandon was hired to play the role of Bucky for public appearances, commercials, and other events that required a human to exist within a real-life mascot suit. He was the official character actor. It also seems like he was mentally unstable, as well as unliked by other employees. We can see from the date on these tapes that at least one murder occurred in the year 1990, well before the Nintendo 64 console even existed. So this suggests that Connor had witnessed Brandon's handiwork, filmed it, and then kept it a secret, now bringing the footage back out of retirement in order to expose Broadside as revenge for firing him from his dream project. Brandon's victims were Olivia Finch, Gary Wilson, and Nathan Stewart.
What?
The only evidence informing us of which job roles these people had at Broadside Animation is found on unused video files in the Shipwrecked 64 movies directory. However, the creator has told me that many of these files are outdated and should have been deleted before the game's release, so it's hard to know for sure if this data is accurate. However, as it's all we have to go on and doesn't contradict anything else in the story, let's take a look at them anyway. Olivia was said to be a voice actress working on the Bucky cartoons. One night she was invited by a visitor to the lake one night where she was then drowned. This makes sense as we find her medical report in a secret area full of water. Next we have...
That's literally the pool
a
rooms.
mascot handler at Broadside Vacation. One day after his shift, Gary went to the kitchen where he was attacked by Brandon. Finally, we have Nathan, who was an animator at Broadside Animation.
No.
He returned to the offices late one night where he met his fate with Brandon, all filmed once again by Connor. In this secret museum-like room, we see pictures of the various victims, all tied to Connor, as his family house features as the centerpiece of this wall. A photograph of Brandon can be seen to the far right of the main collage. However, there is one key piece of this sinister story we have yet to touch on. You see, Broadside wasn't just an animation studio. They did have a less public side, a research and development department that seemed to dabble in human experimentation. Before we look into why, it is important to establish some context.
Basically, it's they've taken
basically
the humans,
yeah,
who were killed, were then stuck inside the suits. And as they've been killed, their souls have gone inside of the suits that they were shoved in. So you've got the peacock thing. You've got the peacock thing. With
The walrus.
With the burns, because he's found in the kitchen. The person who was drowned was the walrus. And then the last one, I can't remember what it is, but they were assaulted. So basically, in other words, it's just a sinister game with a ton of scary secret stuff.
While Bucky had been a popular cartoon character, it seems he had grown popular enough to warrant his very own theme park, a park dubbed Futureland 2020, which was part of Broadside Vacation. From one of the hidden notes, we get the sense that certain experiments were being conducted underneath this resort and covered up by security. These experiments were conducted to try and create living mascots that contained the bodies of humans within. This is detailed in those medical documents we find throughout the game. While these documents technically contain medical data, they are in fact application forms for mascot handlers. So, where did these bodies used in mascot suits come from? Why, the victims of Brandon Lester, of course. Each of these victims were on-site employees of Broadside, meaning their deaths were very easy to cover up by the company. The cadavers were then melded inside animatronic mascot suits and resurrected through some mysterious scientific procedure. These monstrous creations were dubbed starlings, and each assigned a handler. The very first mascot created was Bucky the Beaver himself, using the corpse of Brandon Lester, who had died from fentanyl, a medicine used to treat cancer. In the secret notes folder, we find a single document titled Cancer, directly linking to Brandon. As Brandon died from the medicine rather than his illness, it seems his death was a cover-up on the part of Broadside, who then used Brandon's body in a starling experiment, one deemed successful by its handler Louis. Each of Brandon's victims then became follow-up experiments in a bid to hide his crimes from the world and save the public image of Broadside, as well as testing out some new mascot technology. Everything had been going to plan until a disgruntled game developer named Connor, with a history of Broadside's dark past, decided to include lost footage of a rogue starling in his shelved video game. Then Connor suddenly passed away, at least based on this notepad document titled He Died, which seems to be written by Connor's son Pat. This is reflected in the final tape, where we see someone leap from the rooftop of the Thomas family home. Once again, this accident may have been down to a cover-up on the part of Broadside, looking to rid themselves of an employee who knew too much. Connor's final wish was for Pat to insert the murder footage into the prototype Shipwrecked 64, blowing the whistle on Broadside's shady past. Once these files were included, the game was printed and received a limited run, presumably so that Broadside could try to recoup their development costs, despite not liking the end product. Quickly realizing the damaging video files contained on the game cartridge, Broadside pulled it from retail, with only a few copies remaining in the wild. One such copy ending up on eBay years later by a seller named Daniel, and then replicated by a group of indie developers. Now the full story of these horrifying events is out in the open, yet it seems Brandon and the other starling mascot experiments still roam the grounds of Broadside Vacation's Futureland Resort, able to kill at any moment. And with that, we come to the end of this video looking at the story of Shipwrecked 64. I hope you enjoyed.
Anyway, guys, I think that's going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed watching, we will try and see where this game is. We'll try and find it on Steam or something like that. Yeah. And if we can leave a link down in the description to it. If you want to play it, then by all means go ahead. So thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you in the next one.